Hello everyone, welcome dear participants, greeting from Tunisia, from me Najoua Slatnia, and welcome to the workshop 3, project presentation on media education and misinformation. This workshop will be animated by Blandine, Boureau and Brigitte Collomb. It's one of 4 workshops in this eTwinning online seminar teaching with media in Tunisia, March 2021. Of course, in the context of the annual theme, media literacy and disinformation. So before we start, we would like to give you some instructions. So I remind you that this session is recorded, as I told you before to start. And of course, you feel free to interact with us using the chat to write your questions or comments. Also, the workshop leaders will dedicate part to answer your questions when they finish their presentation. We will collect all your questions, and of course, in this part, you can use the option of raise your hand, and we will allow you the microphone if you want to interact directly and ask your questions. Another more information important that to receive the certificate for this seminar, you need to fill in the attendance forms that I will share with you in the chat during the workshop. So don't forget to fill in it. And so that's all. So welcome again to the workshop 3 project presentation on media education and misinformation. And now I give the floor to our 2 animators, Blandine Boureau and Brigitte Collomb. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Thanks.
First, I would like to tell you good morning. I'm very happy to be here with you in Tunisia. It's a great pleasure to share this workshop with you. I'm going to be as clear as possible. You will have the opportunity to ask us all the questions you want during the workshop and even after on our page, dedicated page on the TwinSpace. So don't hesitate to ask us questions and to connect with us.
Hello, my name is Blandine. I'm really delighted to present a project I have done 2 years ago with Italy and Spain. And thank you, Najoua and the Tunisian NSS for having invited me. And we try to do our best to present our activities. But first of all, we will ask you a question. So I put a link in the chat and you go to this link to answer the following question, which is how can eTwinning sharpen our students' critical thinking skills? So normally you have you can go to this link and answer by writing a keyword, and you have to click regularly on the link to refresh the window. So can you go to this link? Is it okay for you?
Yes, normally.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you just click some, voila, okay, good. Through exchanging ideas, yes. Express opinion, good. I have just to share ideas, yes. But how can we yes, share ideas, yes, express opinion and changing ideas. But for the students, how do you think eTwinning will be efficient tool to help students to develop this their critical thinking skills? So it's not so easy. Yes, but exchanges ideas. But maybe also, so we'll show you some collaborative activities. Oh yes, okay. Compare press articles. Yes, criticize behavior, sharing with peers. Yes, sharing with peers, I think it's a good idea. And we'll show you in a few minutes how we can ask students to share ideas and to work together. And multicultural influence different cultures, yes. So you have a lot of ideas, that's fine, that's great. Teamwork, yes, very important. eTwinning, it's a very efficient tools to have a teamwork, even with students. And collaborative, yes, collaborative activities. That's really good. So now I will ask Brigitte to present her project. If you agree with this.
I'm sharing my screen, but I was just wondering, Blandine, if it wouldn't be better for you to start, because maybe it will fit the answer garden best concerning critical thinking. But if you feel like, because I am most maybe in the second part of creating with the students, so maybe we could stick to the idea.
Okay, it's okay. My project is it's on. Okay, so let me share my presentation. Najoua, you tell me if you see it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yes, it's loading. Okay, we get it.
Okay. So this is a project called the Fake News Busters, and we were my partner, my Spanish and Italian partners, we were very sensitive to how to develop the critical thinking skills and how to develop also the behavior facing social networks with the fake news. That's why we decided to make. Oh, sorry, I have the I have the commentary also. Sorry, I have the bad one. Well, it doesn't matter. Sorry about this. Did not. Okay, so because every day we see that the fake news is very important in social networks. And when we work on this project, it was a few years after the American election. And so it was we thought it was very important. And we also seen in the previous months also that when the first vaccination appeared, that social networks went crazy with vaccine side effects. So it's very important to help students to detect the false from the truth, because I am teaching in the schools from where students are aged from 10 to 15. So they are most of them connected to social networks, but they are not mature enough to distinct false news from true news. So I think it's very urgent to educate our students. So the objective of the project, so it was to develop the critical sense of our students. But because we know that most of the time, especially in my school in France, that French students are big consumer of knowledge, but they don't really think about the knowledge they receive or the news they receive from their teacher, from their parents, from their friends. They are not criticized enough. So it was one of the big goals for the project, to give them tips to decode the critical, to help them to develop their critical faculties. So to help them to take time to think before acting, but because most of the time when they are on the social networks, when they look at the video or they read the news, if they found it very fun, they just want to share and they don't think about it, they just share. So I think it's very important to ask them, to help them to say, no, stay. Just think about what we have read or what we have seen, and before sharing. So we have to develop their self-confidence as well. Sorry, I have to change it. Okay, so it was a quite ambitious big project because we decided to launch over a year, a whole year. So it would take time, and we decided to make activities every month, and we decided with our partners when to do activities. We had deadline and so on. It was very well prepared before launching the project. And one of the first activity was a presentation of the schools and of the students. Then within the class, we try to give a definition of fake news concept. So I did not tell you because I am a school librarian, so I don't have any class really. Mostly I work with volunteer students, but sometimes I also work with in transdisciplinary teaching. And for this project, I worked with a history teacher. And so I went to her class, and we have some lesson about fake news concepts. Then one other activity was to give them tips to use internet search, because most of the time they don't know. They just go on Wikipedia or any website they found very easy to read, and they just swallow the information because they're not really thinking about it before. So so we decided this is the lesson we gave, and then we ask our students, I will show you in a few minutes, to select information on social networks. So the students become very integrated in the teaching, in the learning. And then at the end of the project, we ask them to write collaboratively rules of discernment. That's the whole project. So in the details, we have collaborative activities. We make some polls. We had a video conference also, so that's nice for the students to share in live, more virtual live. And then we set up transnational teams to work together. That's you said at the beginning of the presentation, that collaborative activities, collaborative work is very important for students, because they see that it's the same for all the students in France, in Italy, in Moldavia, and so on. So it's very important to make transnational teams to work together on a subject. So the first activity, so we used Padlet in the twin space, but we have also a twin board now, and we ask them to write down their online habits. What do they do with the internet? How many hours they spend during a day on internet, and so on. So it was kind of presentation also, and for us teacher was good to see, it's interesting to see that most of them, they share the same habits. That's the first activity. Then we wanted to have some fun activities. So after having explained the fake news concept in each class, we ask our students to put some keywords and to draw some word with the keywords. The clouds words, I don't know if you say that, clouds words. So they loved it very much, and it's a way of learning which is fun, but I think it's quite important to have fun and then a serious activity. The following one, so we have for Christmas time, we had video conferences. So the students loved it. So we spoke about any, not only fake news, but we share tradition and so on. So it's just a way to make a step in the project. It's quite nice. And then we created the transnational teams. So we were 3 countries. So my Spanish colleagues create groups and gave name of the groups. There was Toki Walkers and so on. You can. This project is public, so I will give you the link, and afterwards you can have a look at this project. So we make 10 groups, and we put 3 or 4 students per group. And it was, we decided, we did not ask our students to join the group. We decided the name of the students in each group. And then with these transnational teams, we ask them to go to classtools.net. It's a tool that's very interesting because you can create fake profiles. I think it's really a very important step in this project, because we wanted to tell our students that anybody can create a fake profile. So, and it's quite dangerous. And my students, they are 13 years old, so they are quite naive still. And it was important for them to put the finger on that. So we create a fake profile like Queen Elizabeth or Napoleon or Victor Hugo and so on. And they went to this account and they put any news they wanted. So they have fun, but they realize also that it could be quite dangerous to have this, to work with these fake profiles. And unfortunately, it's quite, we can see now this on the social networks quite a lot. And then after they share information with fake profiles, we ask them to create false information, also with the same tools, classtools.net, and it's free. So it's very easy to use it, it's free. And so we ask our students to create false information. So they realize that the facility how we can create false information, that it was very important for us to give them in mind. Sorry for my English, it's not so easy sometimes. Then after we have said all this, we work about this false information. Now the second step is how to spot the fake news. How can students see that the news is fake or true? And so we worked within class, and then they could also work through share information through the forum on the TwinSpace. So they discuss about this, and then on the Padlet, everybody wrote how to spot fake news, and as we said at the beginning this morning, to check the sources, to set the website, and so on. So they listed a list of these rules. And then also still in transnational teams, with all the rules they have founded, we ask them to create always in transnational teams to create a poster, and we use the tool Canva. And Canva is also a free tool, and people can write all together at the same time. So it's quite easy, and our students love to create poster. So we decided that every teams make their creativity with this poster. So and we discuss in class also about all these rules, the main rules to adapt to facing fake news. And all the activity we've done along the year, we gather it in a magazine, digital magazine, and we ask our students to think to create the cover of the magazine. And you can see on this slide there are many covers, and volunteer students make the drawing and so on. And we ask them then to choose through a poll. We can have a poll in the twin space. So through the poll, they could choose the best one. And I think you can see the below, the one below was chosen. And then it was nice because we had all the activities gathered in the digital magazine. And to the end of the project, it's very important to evaluate the project. So we ask our students to tell if this project was interesting for them, if they learned something about the fake news, if they progress in English, because the communication language was the English, and so on. So for us, it's a good way to progress for another project. And then also, which is really important in eTwinning, is to disseminate our project. So we put all the activities we have done, we put them on the schools' websites, or on any academic website. It's very important. And then we had a quality level for this project, so we can then show this project in our discipline. So I hope you understand what I said. It's quite fast, but we don't have so much time. Have you got any question? No question?
Maybe it's okay.
I hope it was, you understand what I said.
Yes, of course. Maybe we ask our attendants if they have any questions. Don't hesitate to write your questions, yes?
Okay.
Yes. We have a question from...
how did the pupils work together? They work together through the forum on the twin space. On the forums or directly on the twin space through Padlets or twin boards or through the polls. We did not use any other tools. We just stay within the twin space environment. We did not use any Twitter or any other social networks. This project was extended on all along the year. And one activity per month, more or less. And it was a completely collaborative work, yes. And they could work also, as I said to you, on the Canva. They can work all together on the same poster at the same time. So it's very, very nice. Yes, we used Padlet because at this time the twin board was not on the twin space, but now there is a twin board on the twin space, so you don't. It's not necessary to use Padlet, but you can use it. Yes. Yes, collaborative work. It's very important because it's. Within eTwinning, you can have interactive activities. It means you put a quiz and the partners answer the quizzes, or you can have a collaborative activity. It means that they work together on the same production. And for the students, it's very motivating. Somebody is writing something, and then I will. No, it's fine. Okay, so thank you very much. And Brigitte, you can. I switch off my micro.
Yes, I have switched on mine now. So I'm going to share my screen. This one.
Yes.
And go back here.
It's okay, Brigitte, yes.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
So now I have to see it too. So where do I see it? Other actions. So I'll stay on my screen. So I asked Blandine to start the activity first and change the programming. Sorry for that, because I thought that it would be easier if the students, in fact, or if the participants should know about this idea of selecting information before seeing my my presentation, in fact. So my presentation is about media teaching projects and activities. I'm not going to develop the project as Blandine did. I'm just going to show you a few activities, in fact, so that you can now create with your students using the TwinSpace, so that you can create media using the TwinSpace. So first, I'm going to take activities from a big project entitled Social and Media. This is an Erasmus Plus project. So the project has two goals. The first one is to have the children get in contact on the virtual space of eTwinning, but also during mobilities with students, in fact, to learn how to socialize and to deal with media literacy. As you can see here, you will discover our logo, which shows all the countries involved in the project. So you'll see Spain, Greece, Germany, and Corsica. There are QR codes too that you'll be able to follow later on in order to discover the TwinSpace if you feel like it. So we considered that the TwinSpace can be seen as an internet media and a social media by itself. And I'm going to, in fact, to show you the different places on the TwinSpace and to give you some clues on how we used them in order to teach this creation, this creative aspect of media literacy. First, the project journal. So when you are in a project journal, you can immediately understand that you can use it as a public blog. So of course, the students cannot post any messages, but they can work with teachers to suggest those messages with pictures, and we can invite them to like the other partners' posts and to comment them. You'll see on the slide every time I will add in purple the skills that we intend to develop, or the European skills on the activities. So for this first project journal activity, the fact to share message with the students, to like using and to comment using grateful grammar words, speaking the right words. For example, will trigger communication in foreign languages, social and civic competencies, and cultural awareness and expression. And as you can see, there is a screenshot of the project journal. The pages. So in a project, the pages can be seen as an online public website, a wiki. So at the bottom, I've shown you some screenshots too. And to remind you that you can decide while creating a page who can see this page. So just the TwinSpace members or everyone on the internet. So if you choose to have everyone on the internet, you make this page public, and it could be according to the content you're going to share inside. It could look like, in fact, a website page or a wiki page, if we consider that the children are going to collaborate to create this page. So that the students can work directly on the page, you will also have to tell who can edit this page. And as you can see here on my example, only administrators can do so. So you will have to change for pupils and or pupil administrators if you feel like your children your students to interact directly, to open the page and to create the content, which could look like, of course, after teaching them how to do so, a website page or a wiki page. So according to the activity, the students will develop a lot of skills together. You can also see that we have created with my partners a special twin page, which is really it's called social media wiki, and it will remain on the twin space. We will, I won't say never, but it is not supposed to be closed, but to be enriched by the project activities, and all the pages are public. And after, you see social media too. This is the normal working twin space with some of the pages which are made public and to look like wiki or website page. The twin board. When you create a page, you have the opportunity to add a twin board to this page. So the twin board is a great tool because the students can use it as they want. It is not exactly the right explanation. I mean that the students can decide to add by themselves without any help from their teachers. They can add an item. So what is an item? An item is a small space where the student can write his name, his country, and after he can decide to use this space as he is told so in the implementation of the project. So what we decided in this project is to pretend that this twin board could be part of a social media. For example, when you have a look at Twitter, when the students are invited to tweet, they have to share a picture and they share a short comment according to what they are tweeting about. So in the project, we decided that every day of the mobility, the students should tweet because we worked on the project too, on the pictures, should share a picture and tweet a grateful comment and something they liked, they enjoyed best during the day. So this was a great activity for them. They really enjoyed them because this activity was also made public. And it's a great activity too, because you work on the quality of the message. The students have to choose the right words and to make it both grateful, informative, entertaining, precise, concise. So it's a great activity to use the twin board as a way to tweet. Of course, you can use it other ways too. On the right side, you see it was another activity for Christmas. They tweeted about their Christmas tree. It was another way to use to tweet. Then the twin space offers us the possibility to add small polls, and this could be great because those polls can be used to help the student at the beginning of the page to think about the activity that is going to that they will have to do to make with the other students, or this could be helpful too in some cases as a sort of a first brainstorming to gather information on a specific topic, looking at, analyzing the answers of the group. So concretely, the students can, of course, they cannot create the poll, but they can suggest it to the teachers. They can answer it, analyze the answers, and use the results to create media content. Of course, all the activities done on the twin space, even in the twin board, can be used to create media content. So I quite like this idea of the poll at the beginning of the page. The other dedicated space on the twin space to tackle with the internet media is the forum. So I don't know if you have ever visited it, but a forum, like on the ordinary other places on the internet, virtual places, a forum is a meeting place for open discussions. So it's interesting considering students' agency, because here the students can really interact and become I wouldn't say the teachers, but they can do some exchange of great ideas, and we sometimes have great discussions about topics. You'll see later on that we usually also use the forums for feedback at the end of the project. So once again, these ideas can be used to create more media content. We'll see how. In the forum, the students can suggest, answer, quote, reply, as in an ordinary forum. So we learn how to express their opinion democratically as well. So we also use the twin space as a magazine agency. So I think you've seen all the word clouds reminding you the different forms of media. And on this project, we've chosen so far the online magazine, but we're going after to work on the web radio too as well. So in order to, after chatting, socializing on the twin space during the mobilities, we decided it was time to write our twin space or mobility magazine using both the information from the twin space and other kind of informations that hadn't been shared yet on the twin space. So we started having some workshops about journalism in our countries so that the students could meet real experts in order themselves to try and become experts in media writing this time. Then we decided the students should have a word on what should be the magazine sections. And very quickly, according to our project, we decided that we could meet the UNESCO themes, because also because with those partners we had already made a magazine on those themes. So very concretely, after deciding and discussing the sections, we opened a page and we suggested articles according to the mobilities and the topics that we thought would be great to give some more lightening on, for example, Europe or the Erasmus programs or other things. So we worked on the topics, and after, in fact, we suggested the best articles, and we decided who would write those articles. So unfortunately here, as you can see, the other partners forgot to join in the chart, but they did, of course. So there are different moments when children can make a report or write an article, and different reasons. Here, the reasons were obvious because we did some wonderful outings. For example, this is an outing in Bonifacio in the south of Corsica, and the children were told to take pictures because we had a photography workshop before, and they were told to make the most of it, to share with the other children, to socialize and share their ideas, point of view, as they used to they did it on the twin space before in the project. So after the outings, after the mobility, when writing the articles, we had those ideas, we had those pictures shared in the materials, but we needed to decide how to write the articles with all those ideas, which didn't came from the internet but from real life experience. So we decided to use once again the tools offered on the twin space, and when not possible, other tools that we embedded. So here, to create together the article about this outing, we decided to use puzzle writing. So what is puzzle writing? Everybody is going to share a part of his experience, feelings, narrative, so that at the end we can write a complete article together, which would be very rich, informative, entertaining, full of socializing of feelings, and a quality article, in fact. So this is what happens after. So we wrote the article, we put it together on the Framapad. I will show you an example later on of the two. So we put all these puzzles, all these parts of the puzzle together, and we picked the photos that we thought were the best to create an article first on a dedicated page, write it together to be able to read it together before writing it, putting it on Mad Max. So what is Mad Max? Mad Max is a platform. So we picked Mad Max, but you have a lot of other tools you can pick if you decide to do so. So we picked Mad Max, and we created an account, a link which allowed us to collaborate all together from distance collaboration, and to create those pages and to share them in the same place on the Mad Max platform. You'll be able to ask us questions. As you can see, it is also interesting as we can embed videos in the magazine once it's finished. We cannot play it here. So another idea of gathering ideas and memories to create to write a magazine, we went bird watching. So it was a bird watching report. We used another place on the twin space in order to share all our ideas. So I'm just sharing here part of it. So you might recognize it. This is a screenshot of the forum. So we opened the forum so that the students can exchange their feelings, their ideas. But it was different because here bird watching it was more a scientist experience. So they also had to share some very precise ideas, precise definitions, and they even had to make some researches, for example, concerning the names, for example, of the animals. And this is the final article. So same thing, we shared on the Framapad, we worked together on the article, and after we shared it, and we suggested a video as well of the activity. So on the left, you'll see an idea, a concrete idea of this Framapad, which is a collaborative tool. And as you can see, the children can write on them, and each child has a specific color, so you can see who is writing, who has written, and after you can, of course, change it, you can download it, and you can have it for the students who is in charge of putting the article in the magazine. So this is the final magazine, so you'll be able to use the QR code in order to browse later on through the magazine. After the magazine, the task is not finished, because it's always important to have a critical thinking activity and to guide the students through this magazine again, so that they can have a critical eye on this magazine in order, of course, to improve, but also to be grateful and to be happy of their work. I think it's very important that critical thinking and the eye that the children have on the magazine should be always very. They can find everything that has been put inside, all this, the social aspect, all the competencies. They have to be aware of the work done, and they have to be aware of what needs to be improved as well. So here is some more ideas that I shared with them in the forum, so that they can improve their comments. And this is an example of an answer of the comments. So thank you for your attention. I'm not sure about the time, and there is another part of the presentation with another project that is more linear, and that could help you, in fact, to make your own magazine if you feel like it. Thank you for your attention, and if you've got questions, I would be happy to answer all your questions.
Yes, so thanks, Brigitte, for your great presentation as Blandine. There are a question from Camilleri, I think, Abijay, about the tool that you use for your magazine, and maybe you can share with them some other tools for magazine or e-books, sharing e-books, etc. What tools did you use?
So we used Mad Max, but as a French ambassador, we have it freely. But I am not sure if we can have it. If we can have the simple. You know, there are different templates, and I'm not quite sure if we have a free opportunity on Mad Max to create a first magazine, even to have a try. But there are all other tools, maybe issues, or I'll have a look. And Najoua, if you agree, of course, I will share more tools on our dedicated page of the Twin Space, yes. So that they can, and after they will be able to have a look at with the QR codes to the magazines and have a look at all the presentations. And the second part will help them as well if they want to create their own magazine with the second smaller project, to just have a look at the steps to create a magazine with a lot of screenshots and other things.
Yes, great. Yes, it will be very useful and interesting. Yes, thanks. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, there are other questions? Mm-hmm. So feel free to comment and to interact with us.
It's a lot of information, in fact.
We have a question from Laurence. What were the countries you worked with?
Oh, yes, Greece. I'm working at the moment on this project again with, it's the second year we are working with Greece, Spain, and Germany.
Great. Yes.
So the main idea is to master socialization and our citizenship, virtual citizenship, in order to be democratic citizens and to be able to use the social media in the best way and in a constructive way. And the second idea, of course, is to master the creation of media and also to be able to gather information. So on the second project, you'll see how to gather information differently. For example, you can also create, the teacher can create pages where he can suggest, like a lesson plan, he can suggest activities so that the students can take the information according to their ages. If they are young, they can directly take the information from the page. They can learn how to select, how to use this information, to share it, to make something, a content, media content with it. There is a lot that can be explained around the media. And the other thing that is very important, I think, to undergo a safe and a good project is to teach about about everything that is around Creative Commons pictures, music, sounds, and to teach the students how to take good pictures, and so that they can avoid looking for pictures on the internet. So that is great for me so they can take pictures, but they can also illustrate. Sometimes they can draw cartoons, or they can do some word art. And I think the illustration part is very important, because when you see the magazine, you see that most of it is, half of it are illustrations. So it's also important to talk about the pictures while talking about the media. Selecting words, the importance of words. So we've worked a lot on this, on the important words, the expert words, and that's important too. And as for the music, it is also very tricky, because often pupils want to add some music to their videos, and they tend to pick artists which are not they do not have the right to do so. And after we have difficulties, we need to redo the video, to look up for. So it's very important. One of the most important thing when you are starting creating media is to deal with all these rights and Creative Commons, and teach them how to look for free pictures while browsing, even on Google, and that's important. Or they can create pictures and with the art teacher, and music with the music teacher. So we have to think about this great part of the media: music, pictures.
Yes, great. Yes. So I don't know if there are other questions. If there are not, you can move to the next part.
Yes. That's the reason why, if you're going on a report in your school, around your school, it is great. They can take pictures, they can learn how to observe, and it's great activity too.
Yeah. Yes, what I like in your project, Blandine and Brigitte, I like the activities, all the activities, but also I like the part of evaluation, especially when you offer the opportunity to your students to evaluate their work and to have a critical thinking about what they create and product together. It's very, very important, this part, yes. I think it's Blandine and Brigitte projects. Yes.
In misinformation, I think it's really important for students to be an actor in his learning. We have to put them really in situation and so we can see their reaction, and it's very important. Not just give the information and say you have to do this and you must do this and so on. They have to act in the activities. It's really important.
Yes, yes, very important, and the forums to discuss it too. We have a question from May Abu Rashid. How long does the project last? How many months?
Are you asking me or Blandine?
I don't know. You can answer.
So my project is a 2-year project, and so we started with the idea of socialization because we strongly believe that if we are not democratic citizens, it's difficult to be to interact positively in the media or to create positive media. And so I think it was the starting point of the story, because if we have a look at what is happening in the world, the main problem is all these democratic people, I'll say, and parents are, I won't say afraid, but some are a little afraid of having their kids on the social media or browsing the net. And sometimes you say, oh, we don't really want our kids to be on the net to look up for information. And if we teach them how to talk with the other pupils, to talk with, if they have the opportunity through video conferences and to socialize really, and to understand that the important is the content, the message, but it is also the way to deliver it. And if they learn that they don't have to say, oh, that is fake, I have got the truth, you haven't got the truth, you're just sharing. And that is the idea also of this project. It's showing that it is not a fight of who is right and who is wrong. It is just citizenship. It is just a way to participate in the, and at the moment I'm starting working about social sciences, because I think it could be another way to show the students that it is important, that we need everybody to understand what's wrong on our planet, what is good, what we can change. And this was this idea this idea of socialization that came to first the project.
Okay, thanks, Brigitte. And Blandine, how long does your project? And maybe another question too, in order for students to evaluate their work, what activities could we one create, and what tools to evaluate, etc.
Okay.
Yes.
So my project was an eTwinning project. We did not have any Erasmus Plus project. So the project was done from October to June, scholar year. And to evaluate, what do you mean their work? If it's activities, when you present activities, the evaluation is done by themselves, because if they don't work, the partner can't work. So each partner has to work to be read by the other one. So it's kind of evaluation sometimes. And then for the evaluation tools, we use, yes, as Brigitte says, SurveyMonkey, Google Form, and also the twin board in the twin space. And the twin board also is usually used in the twin space. I try to use mostly the tools from the twin space, because for my students' age, I think it's quite good, because they are not confused with any other tools, mostly. But we can have Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, and so on. Yes.
Great. Yes. Okay, so then forums too, they can evaluate discussion in forums, etc. Yes. So it's okay, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We can move to the next part, maybe.
Yes.
The next part, we suggest to open, I open a Padlet, so you can brainstorm about collaborative activities. You can adapt from the activities we show to you. So I put the link in the chat.
Go.
And maybe I will share the screen. This is no, sorry, it's not that one. Sorry, it's not the good one. I mixed up. Where is my? Here is this. Sorry. Up. This is one.
So tomorrow you're going to write a project, and you will decide
This
whether
is a
you
Padlet.
have.
Okay.
Sorry, Blandine. Two parts. Are you going to prepare to start with the first part to teach your children how to deal with, to cope with information, to gather information? And are you after going to create a media, magazine, but you can also suggest web radio with podcast, or what do you intend to create? Do you want only to work on the second part, or do you want to have both parts dealing with all the literacy, the media literacy, access to get familiar with the information, or do you want to create? So what we can remind you is the definition of a collaborative activity. So a collaborative activity is an activity which involves students. Normally you can have different groups. We have different teams of students. The best would be from different countries, if possible. Around, so each team has to make make a project, to answer an activity, to do an activity together. And the idea, so that we can say that it's collaborative, is that all the children or the students involved in the group need each other. So they need the other students' results in order to achieve the activity. So it can be, they can share small information in order to create an article. They can we can also think about student agency. It means that some of the students can just find the title of the article, or suggest an illustration, or they can be the one who is going to put the final result, the final article, or whatever you have decided to make in the dedicated tool. For example, on my project, the students wrote together the articles, they exchanged pictures, they had to choose and write. One of them wrote, and after the other discussed about the article. Then they had to pick the right pictures, and finally, just one of the group had to put the results on ManMax. Okay, so think about the student agency in the group, think about the implementation of the activity, just a simple activity. What do you want to suggest together? And this activity could help you suggest a project for tomorrow morning.
Do you have access to the link? Is that fine? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I'm trying to post something.
I'm trying to, but I'm not in the right place. That's all. So,
Yeah, this classtool.net is very nice, and students love this, to create false information, breaking news. It's fine. But I think it's very instructive for the students. They can see how it's easily to manipulate people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maha ask about how she can add her suggestion just in the Padlet. You need to press the plus or double click in the Padlet, and you can write.
Or you copy and paste in the internet the link. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Exactly. Yes.
Maja has got it. Good.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As you see that Blandine and Brigitte shared with you many activities like create, I don't know, word cloud about the fake news or about disinformation, about media literacy, or create a magazine or discussion in forums, or there are many activities. What you prefer for your future project?
Maja, I think your idea of project is quite interesting to think about water, but can you imagine any small activities in this project? What are you going to ask your students? What kind of activities are you going to do? Is it a quiz or collaborative writing? So maybe you can. When we think about eTwinning project, we have to think very deeply in activities. Otherwise, it's difficult to have a nice project. photo game. Yes, what do you mean by photo game, Jordan? May? Photo game, what do you think by photo game? You mean fake pictures? Yeah, fake pictures maybe?
If there are someone who want to raise the hand to ask directly verbally, I can allow them the micro. Just raise your hand.
So photo game, it's a game where students can choose the real one. Yes, okay. Okay, that's good. Like, okay, the real photo, okay. And then they will have to explain why this one is real and why the other one are fake. So, okay, good. I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And Maja, concerning your project about water, you can maybe imagine quizzes with the concrete data. You can maybe imagine a quiz about rivers and beaches and so on. You have to imagine always an interactive activity or collaborative activity. So it's very important for the students. So Nisrin, pixel art, to learn about pixel art and its application in our lives and how it can be reflected in the classroom for students. Okay, so that's a really good idea too. So now afterwards, how do you imagine activity, proper activities with the partner? Are you maybe asking the partner to create pixel art pictures and then some questions? So you have to think about this. It's really good, it's a really nice idea, nice project, future project. Yes, Maja, collaborative writing, yeah.
So we will share tools for collaborative writing like Framapad or others that will be helpful for you. I have given you an example of activity presentation, and so that you can think about the different aspects of what a collaborative activity is. If you have any questions concerning those points, 1, 2, 3, or don't hesitate to ask me questions. So it's always very important to have clear goals and clear activity implementation, because you will have to share it with all the partners of the project. And if you are not very clear with all the steps, the goals, the objectives, and you might get confusion in your project or difficulties in starting. So it's always very important when you suggest a task that all these points should have to be answered. If you want to create something in in a good time. If not, it might take a lot of time because people want to know what to do exactly, where to go, and they can be discouraged, and you might have problems completing the activity, achieving the activity, or obtain the results that you would like to obtain.
Yes. Maybe we have questions or comments from Maha, I think, about the activities. There are, you know, there are always the collaborative learning, collaborative activities and collaborative learning. So through sharing ideas, discussing together, etc., we can learn more things. So it's very important to sharing, to discuss, to see another ideas, etc. Yes. For that, it's very important after sharing the ideas from of Blandine and Brigitte to see what you prefer, what ideas you can do in your future project, eTwinning project. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It is not easy to create such an activity by yourself, because of course when you'll be with your partners, it will be easier because some will think about teamwork, others will think about the tools you're going to use, others will give you advice about concerning the twin space, and here you are not alone, but you are not in a you can have a look at the other answers from the other participants, but don't worry, it will be very easier tomorrow writing, suggesting the activities, because you will be several brains to think about this collaboration and those ideas and how to try to lead this activity.
Yes, maybe I have a question to Brigitte and Blandine. If we want to create or to do a collaborative product, so what is the first action that we need to do in our project? Our students, how they need to work firstly in groups. This is or not?
I think the reason why we say a small collaborative activity is that because I believe that this activity won't be necessarily the first in the project that you will suggest. As you've seen, not in mine because it was too big to show you everything, but in Blandine's project, you could clearly see that collaboration is getting constructed all along the project, and usually what we can imagine as the major collaborative activity won't be at the beginning of the project, because the students have to discover themselves, they have to get to know each other. They can start with small tasks, for example, suggesting a project logo. They need to learn how to be democratic on the twin space, suggest activity, vote, interact. So this activity won't be the first one you will carry on in your project. It could be, but I would consider first suggesting other simple, more simple activities.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, as one of you said, that it's very important at the beginning, before launching the project, to prepare, to discuss with the partner, to take time and prepare the activity and say, first of all, we'll do the presentation. And then what do we want students to learn? We have to put goals and take time preparing the activity or the project. But we don't have to we present you some quite long project, but you don't have to do a so long project. You can do a project for maybe 2 months or 6 weeks. with two activities, one with presentation and one about exchanging fake news, as you suggest in the Padlet. That's all. But even for that, even for a very small project, take your time with your partner to prepare and to say how long does the activity last. It's just 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and put deadlines, and exchange about holidays too, because it's very important. So preparation, it's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
and your project needs to follow a thread. The students need to understand what you are teaching them and why it's a project and not lessons put all one after the other. So the idea of finding a little thread between the activities, of constructing the connectivity between the activities and the people is also important. And so the collaboration can be very small. As I said before, a student can just suggest a cartoon or a picture, his best picture. He can suggest a title, magazine cover. It doesn't have to be very complicated. The idea is to show them that they can interact with and they can work their European socialization. That is the point. They can create a little product. But the idea is to enjoy the time they're spending together by exchanging. They can see each other. They can exchange maybe Christmas postcards. It will depend on the season you plan the activity. So the idea is an idea of taking pleasure in doing, having something which follows a thread, which is logical, which connects people, and with simple conversations, exchanges, and maybe, if you can, a small collaborative activity. And
Yeah.
of course, at the end, an assessment so that the students can be aware that they've been working on so many competencies, and that is important for me for them to understand all the competencies that they don't see and that they explore and that they gain, and doing something very interesting and different.
Yes, so Brigitte, we have interaction from Hadia and Ibtisam and Maha, Huda, Silvan, Huda, and they say that about the activities, we have to set activities that will serve the objective that I want the students to achieve from project, and leave the freedom to our students to choose to learn first about the project and to choose their activities, all that, yes. And of course, first of all, to create the ice breaking, to create a nice atmosphere between the partners so that they can, after, collaborate and discuss. So the first activities are very important to presentation, ice breaking, etc. And then the collaborative activities, yes.
Yes. And I showed you a tool, Trasider, which is very good. Remember, we asked the students to choose the sections of our magazine according to what they had lived during the mobility, and we gave the final right words to their ideas, and it was good for them to suggest to interact around these sections. And Trasider is a very good tool, or to decide, or for something like this, or when you are voting for your logo, it's very nice because you can embed, you can download small pictures, and you can have the children learn how to argue, how to vote, and it's quite nice. Do you know the tool? I'm writing it on it's called Trasider. Very nice tool. Oh, Silva shared it. Thank you, Silva. Right, it's really easy to use, and you can change the deadlines if you need so. It's very flexible, and I really enjoy, and I often advise flexible tools on the TwinSpace, and that is why Blandine is quite true that using the first of all the tools offered by the TwinSpace is a chance, because they are very flexible. And after, when choosing, it's also very important to have flexible tools if you want to postpone an activity, to change a deadline, to modify something, and tools that can, of course, that are secure while using them, so that you can erase if there is something that you don't want to see appearing on the screen, or right. It's very important to select the right tool in the project.
Yes. So maybe it's the time of the end of our workshop. I see that there are great interaction from our attendees. So I don't know what you want to say at the final of this workshop before I Brigitte and Blandine.
Yes, I'm back.
Yes, what you want to say at the finish of this workshop?
Thank you for your attendance. Very nice, and we enjoy exchanging with you. And I hope you can make some small project following this seminar. I think some of you are beginners, but don't be afraid. Just try to launch a very small project with one of the participants. And we are still, if you want, we can help you in any ways.
Okay, I will finish saying that eTwinning, after an eTwinning project, is, as for me, there is little technique, but it's mostly how to be sensible and to understand how people feel. And when you feel like having good time and teaching great things to your students, when you are such a teacher, and I'm sure you are all that kind of teachers here, you won't have any difficulties finding what makes sense in an eTwinning project, what is important to have the students get in touch with the with other people, and soft skills, and lots of great things. And as Blandine has just said, you can go back to our page to ask us for more information, to have some more interaction, and I will be there tomorrow morning, and we'll be able to help you if you need to write your projects or to answer your questions. Thank you.
Great. So thank you very much, dear leaders of this workshop, Brigitte, Collomb, and Blandine Boureau. Thanks for the creative and inspiring ideas of share your experience, and for animating this workshop. Big thanks to our attendants today for the interaction, the collaboration, and for this nice atmosphere and discussion. Okay, so maybe we in future occasion or opportunities we can meet together another time. Okay, so thank you very much, and maybe now it's the time to go back to the plenary session. Thanks to all the attendants today.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. See you later.
Bye. Great.